Charles Pashley. I'm a director of the chamber and what we refer to as a board champion for the committee. So I am actually the liaison between the board of directors and the committee that is chaired by a chair and a vice chair in terms of our organizational structure. It's important for us as a country in terms of health and wellness of the population to look at all aspects of the wellness of the population. And an integral part of that is the supply and receipt of pharmaceutical and all medicaments. The committee is formed to ensure that the country always had and always has the range of medicaments that are necessary for the best health of the nation. So it's really focused on supporting the country's need to have a healthy population is the genesis of the committee. We want to focus on our stakeholders. Naturally, our primary stakeholder is already the customers and the citizens of the country, but they are supported by a range of other stakeholders. We have the importers and distributors, we have the private pharmacies and private medical centers, and then we have the Ministry of Health, which controls the regulatory framework in terms of how pharmaceuticals are registered and imported into the country. They also control what is sold throughout what is dispensed through the public health system. And they also have control of the annual tender for medicaments through NIPDEC that reports to the Ministry of Health. So our focus will be initially on lobbying with and advocating with the Ministry of Health on some of those key areas, such as the regulatory framework. How do we make the regulatory framework more efficient? How can we ensure that we have the right medicaments in the country? And secondly, limitations in terms of counterfeit trade, and that is trade that does not pass through either the Ministry of Health or customs approvals, so really on customs goods, which may or may not be the level and quality that they're supposed to be. So we have to monitor those. And then naturally, we have to ensure that the health system has the correct volume and quality of medicaments to service the customers that visit those health institutions. Correct. Yes, the intention is to begin quarterly meetings with the major stakeholders and take a structured, planned approach to the sector. Mm-hmm. What has happened in the past is that there's been firefighting in the sector where if there are challenges with registration of pharmaceuticals or supplies of pharmaceuticals to the public health system, we run together and have meetings to sort out an immediate problem. What we want to do is take a structured approach to the sector so that we meet on a regular basis so we could head off any issues that may arise in the sector. So we're no longer firefighting that, and we're planning ahead to ensure that we have a consistent supply of the right types of medicaments for the population of Trinidad and Tobago. The events we plan would take on more of a conference nature where it would be educational in its format for the different challenges that the industry will face. And we plan to have between 3 and 4 of those on an annual basis. And it will be focused on what is critical for the industry at that point in time. The committee would consist of members that are focused on enhancing the health of the population of Trinidad and Tobago. So first and foremost, you'll have to fit into that category. Then ultimately submit your resume to the chair of the committee and the CEO of the chamber. And based on the applications we have for membership, we will evaluate the members that are best suited for the committee at that point in time. Naturally, it'll be a collaborative effort between the CEO and the chair of the committee to ensure we have the right resources on the committee that can address the challenges of the sector at the point in time. We currently have 8 members on the committee, and ultimately the structure at the chamber is each committee can have a maximum of 14 members. So what we decided to do is launch with 8 members, leaving room where we can add on members as we identify different challenges in the sector that we may not have identified. So that gives us room to expand our reach and expand our value in terms of to our members and the population of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, that is one of the reasons why we have decided to take a different approach as it relates to the stakeholder structure with the committee, and that is to meet with the different stakeholders on a quarterly basis so that we could plan what is correct for the sector and not just when something happens, we then respond. So we will be proactive to the challenges of the sector and therefore proactively deal with improving the supply of medicaments and the quality of medicaments to the population of Trinidad and Tobago, and or servicing our members to ensure that we all have a better way of life in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, no, all of our committees at the chamber are focused on providing a service to this particular sector. In this case, it's the Pharma and Wellness Committee. We cover from nutritional products to pharmaceuticals and all the medicaments in that category, which would include things like even down to bandages and supplies of bandages, all the way up to blood pressure medication, etc. And we ultimately are set up to ensure that we continue to provide the population with the right range of medication to keep the population healthy.